Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
Well, it's Happy Wednesday. Today is May 22nd, 2024. And today I'm kind of privileged to hang out with Brian Wiesner. Brian is with Watermark Capital. And believe it or not, I was sitting in my office. I heard something up in the front, and it was Brian. And I go, hey, how are you? And he goes, hey, how are you? And, you know, he was out just looking for some business and, trying to get things going. And we just collaborated. It was probably the best thing I've done in, I don't know, a year. Hi, Brian. How's it going?
I'm good, man. It was really nice to meet you because, I actually came to go see the real estate office next door to you.
Right. That's Annette's business, right?
And then it was, for what I do, which is help people add onto their homes, improve their homes, build ADUs. I get them the money for that with my reverse mortgage products. And I thought, well, if this guy's building stuff, I might as well not waste my steps up the stairs, and I'll knock on the door. The thing is, I came in the door, and you got your little window where you're supposed to have a receptionist, but you got a whole bunch of junk in front of it.
Yeah.
So I spun around for a little while, and I read all your stuff on the wall because I really do like to research people before I
of course. I'm the same way.
I don't like it when people just walk into my space.
Yeah, okay, that's okay.
So I like to have a little icebreaker. So I was reading your wall so that if anybody did open the door, I could say, I see you do
X. I love it.
And then, by the way, how come you're putting solar panels on and who's this drone guy next to you?
Right?
I want to meet him just because I think drones are cool.
Yeah,
and then,
I love them.
And then all of a sudden I'm sitting here.
Here you are on a Wednesday hanging out, talking about Watermark Capital. And you know what? I really like the story you gave me. This is a great opportunity for people to take advantage of this.
It's a really powerful...
What a tool.
It's a very powerful financial tool. And a reverse mortgage is when somebody is of a certain age, 55 and older in California, and they've got admittedly significant equity in their property. They've done their homework, they've done their investing, and their American goal, own your home free and clear. Own your home free and clear.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Fine. That's a great target.
Mm-hmm.
But in the financial world, home equity is just vapor.
Yeah.
It's not usable. And if your whole goal is I paid my house off because I want to give it to my kids, I want to give it to my estate. Well, that's when you're 40. When you're 80 and you're 90,
you don't care about the kids anymore.
Aren't your kids
give a shit about them?
Aren't your kids 50? Aren't they 50 and 60 by the time you're 90?
Yeah, they're established. They should be anyways.
So true stories is I've had clients come in and say, and these are the kids.
Wow.
Mom's 90. Dad's been gone for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Mom won't leave the house. We grew up there. She's lived there for 42 years.
It's a 2-story.
It doesn't even have to be that.
Okay.
This one in particular that comes to my mind, Temple City.
Okay, nice area.
Bought it way back.
Yep.
Still had louvered windows.
No
AC.
Get out of here.
And a lousy roof. Daughters around.
Okay.
Son is in Visalia.
Okay.
But now they're writing checks. $5,000, $6,000 a month for some in-home care people to come in and take care of her every now and then.
Man.
And they're writing checks. Well, they don't want mom's house.
Yeah.
They want mom to be comfortable.
Yeah.
They don't want to put mom in assisted living because she doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
So that's a scenario where the kids did the reverse mortgage. Mom did the reverse mortgage. They put a ramp at the front of the house so she could get up and down the stairs.
Nice.
They literally widened the doorways.
Oh.
So she could get in and out of the kitchen with her walker.
Oh, how cool.
They gave her a new roof, energy efficient windows, and central heating and air that she'd never had her entire life.
Wow.
And that's
an upgrade, man.
That's an easy one. So that's my point.
Yeah.
She did all of her work to pay the house off.
Yeah.
She turns 90. The equity is vapor.
Vapor. I like that.
Now what do we do?
Right. It's a piggy bank.
It can be. And it's not, hey, Mom, here's 6 figures of money. Go blow it.
Yeah, go to Vegas.
That's not the mentality.
Right.
Mentality is keep Mom comfortable.
Well, they don't have to worry about, they can just come in and check in. They got someone that shows up to the place.
Guess what they've done? They've stepped up the in-home care because she's older now. This was 3 years ago. It's $10,000 a month for the in-home care.
$10,000 a month?
That's normal. It's 10 to 12 in California.
Stop it.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yep.
In your own place?
Yes.
That's just mind-boggling right now.
But here's the other thing that people realize once they start studying it.
Maybe she should go to Vegas.
If you take mom or dad and put them into assisted living or put them into a nursing home, their life expectancy drops off the table.
Why is that, by the way?
Unfamiliar surroundings.
The lithium they put in their water?
Unfamiliar surroundings.
Surroundings, right. Okay.
It's not their house anymore.
And they're sharing this place with a bunch of old people.
And they're still feeling existing humans. Mm-hmm. And deep down in their psyche, why did they put me here?
Yeah, that's got to be a psychological impact.
And
what did I do to deserve this?
Yeah.
I might as well just check out.
Yeah. And not on purpose.
Yeah.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, but what it is, it becomes no purpose.
And it's not my house anymore.
Exactly. The closure is, I need to have tangible things that I know of. And my kids, my house, my dog, whatever. And I need to be in the comfort of my own home. Everybody likes that.
Well, one of the things that I run into when I'm talking to, I have a bunch of collaborators. When somebody sells their home, they can't take that stuff with them.
It's funny you say that. I tell this to a very dear friend of mine all the time. I tell it to my friends. I'm like, listen, all these things you see on the wall, right? These are memories. These are things that happen at a specific time in life.
And you know exactly when and where you got it.
That's exactly right. So it becomes a personal attachment, right? Same thing for the home. The home, there's nothing different than that because as they live in this house, they get the gardening, they get the painting, they get to do special things inside the bedrooms and stuff like that. It becomes more than a tangible item. It becomes life. It's their life.
And they can't take, as silly as it sounds.
Yeah.
They can't take that set of china.
Yeah.
That was, even though 20 of them got broken over the years, there's still a plate.
There's one left.
Okay, so we'll take that plate. Oh, but then we got to take, they can't take it to assisted living.
That's right. And so everything's gone.
So they go, I actually have a buddy of mine who's a counselor.
Oh.
Because sometimes that's an issue that sometimes you have to move out of your house.
You have to detach.
You have to detach.
Okay.
And there's a psychological impact to that.
He provides that service.
He provides some service about, hey, that's not what I do.
No.
But when mom says, I don't want to leave the house because I can't take all this with me, there's a separation anxiety. That happens. It's real.
It's like me trying to get rid of Batman #1.
And so, all right, Chris, this is your last 2 weeks in the house.
Oh,
you can only take one.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
It's going to be the 18 or the #1.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, history,
but you know what
right?
I'm talking about.
Oh, of course. So, they have to detach and then they have to move on to another facility and they're not going to have awareness. They're going to have, like you said, the guilt thing and why, and the regret of why aren't these kids coming to see me every day? They're not having dinner with me. And then that gives, I guess it's something inside the spirit that just says, you've detached from all these things. Your kids are doing their thing. You've lived a good life. Dad's gone. And now I want to really, really just relax. And I think inside the brain, it just triggers this. Okay, I get it. All right. We're gonna let you go in your sleep.
It's gonna chill out.
You're gonna chill out. The final chapter is going to happen.
That just pertains to that statistic. That it's a big step for somebody that maybe isn't ready for that. The flip side is there's a lot of cognitive issues that happen when you start getting older, and so
memory loss, all kinds of stuff. My grandma was really sharp. She was 103.
It's crazy.
She was sharp as hell.
It's crazy how some people. The first reverse mortgage I ever did was my neighbor's.
Really? Okay.
And they were these two, and I say this in with a smile because they were my friends.
Of course.
Two spinster school teachers.
I love it.
When I met them, when I bought my first house, they were 85 and 88, something like that. By the time they started to get to 90, our dogs would jump over the fence and play with each other. So whatever. So they were my buddies, my old lady buddies.
Loved it.
And one of them got to the point where she couldn't drive anymore. Physically, she just couldn't drive. Sharp as a tack. The other one was just not able to carry on the conversations anymore.
Oh, bummer.
But physically, she could walk 5 miles.
She can drive.
She could drive with help.
Yeah. So
Muriel and Gertrude. Now, you can't make those names up, right?
No, those are classic names. Those are fantastic names.
They were sweethearts, but they came over to me one day. We're chatting, and they said they also had louvered windows. I'm not kidding. When I bought my house, it had louvered windows.
I love it.
It was the thing from the 50s.
Yeah,
Everybody had louvered windows. So they came over and said, we're really struggling because they outlived their teachers' pensions.
Oh, shoot. Cost of living?
Back in those days, when Social Security started, you could opt in or opt out. So they opted out.
Oh, no.
And stayed with the local teachers union.
Oh, boy.
They literally outlived all the funds that were in the pension. They couldn't go back to Social Security because they never contributed.
Yeah, it was not there anymore.
And their medication prescription
probably not cheap.
Went from like $150 to $800 a month.
So let me get this straight. This pension, it's like a bucket, right, with water?
Yeah.
And it literally can run out.
It ran out.
And now they're having to pay higher prescriptions. Yep. Probably couldn't afford the property taxes.
Well, the property taxes were from then
like $50 a year.
Yeah. But we did the reverse mortgage for them.
Oh, fantastic.
They got a new roof. They put in new windows.
Oh, yeah.
They enclosed the back patio.
Oh, cool.
And then you can take a draw, like a check, a stipend from your reverse mortgage proceeds.
Is that a monthly stipend?
Monthly.
Really?
So they got a check in the mail for $800 a month for the rest of their lives.
Get out of here.
No, they were 90. They only lasted another 5-6 years, each of them.
Gosh.
But now all the medicine they got, they didn't have to pay anything out of pocket.
So no out of pocket. They got the things that needed to be done to their home. They stayed in their home. That's the important part right there.
Stayed in their home.
And then this reverse mortgage plan gave them enough money to survive.
Yep.
To where their pension just went kaput.
Yep.
Damn, they should have kept Social Security, yeah.
Well, hindsight, right?
Yeah, 2020.
Come on now.
Who does that,
Who's gonna say, hey, this brand new thing that the government has, I'm going to have my future rely on the government. They said, maybe we'll just stick with the pension and the people that we know.
It's what I know. Exactly.
Right? That's what their decision was.
So not only that, you happen to be in the beginning, I guess, the real estate business, right?
Well, I used to be a teacher.
Okay.
And then this is, I don't know if it's a good story or a bad story.
That's great. Come on.
So it's my 40th birthday, and my wife and I want to have kids.
Nice.
And I'm 40, and we're thinking about, let's start a family. Little, whatever.
Okay.
And my wife says, well, it's going to be hard on this teacher salary to have kids. and me be a stay-at-home mom if that's what we want to do. So my 40th birthday, we have this big shindig in my backyard, and one of my old neighborhood buddies shows up and he says, hey, he goes, how's coaching going? Because I was a college soccer coach. And he says, how's coaching going? I go, I just quit. He goes, what do you mean you just quit? I go, I'm a coach. I go, that's what you do. You quit or you get fired and then you go get another gig. I mean, that's what we do.
The cycle.
He just says, well, why don't you come work for me? I said, aren't you like a banker? He said, yeah, I'm mortgage business, but I need somebody that can talk to people, knows teams, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't really want to do that. And my wife is elbowing me.
Honey?
When he told me how much I could make, which was double.
Wow. There we go.
Easily quick double. I said, not easily to make, but
yeah. The future's great.
The future's great.
Right?
And I said, okay, I'll try it. That was 26 years ago.
26 years ago.
Yeah.
You jumped into that business both feet.
25 years ago.
That was a nudge from your wife.
Nudge from my wife.
Knowing that you can make double.
Yeah.
Was it worth it for you?
Yeah, because you know what? I'm sitting here in your office doing a podcast when because when you're a person that's used to being independent and maybe thinking outside the box or however you want to qualify it.
Yeah.
Gently said, I'm probably a bad employee.
Oh, well, you just, you know what it is. It's like me. We're tired of the 9 to 5. We did it all our lives. I'm going to be 63 in January. I know I look 35. I get it, right? You're about 35, same thing. Uh-huh. And, we did the 9 to 5 for many years. We took the, ability to help somebody else get rich, and we didn't really know what the JOB really meant. It means just over broke. Right? So we did what we could do for somebody else, and we made our money. You had kids at 40, and then you guys started to build almost your second part of your life, really.
Totally.
You had the totally professional side going in there and everything else. And then, round 2 comes around, and you guys are talking about the future, and this friend of yours shows up, and you're very hesitant to jump into that because it's a hole. You haven't seen it on the other side yet.
To tell you how naive I was. So this is the guy I played Little League with, right?
I love it, man.
And he's at the party, and we're all wearing shorts and drinking beers and whatever.
Yeah.
And so he says, well, come in Monday, and meet my partner. And I don't put 2 and 2 together. So I show up in a golf shirt and shorts.
Love it. Nice.
And these guys are white shirts and ties.
Oh,
and I walk into my interview and I go,
oh,
what did I just, I look like such an idiot because I wasn't in the corporate world. And when I saw him, I thought I was just going to swing by his office and we'd have a cup of coffee and he'd show me around. I didn't know I was going to sit there.
With the elite.
Yeah. I didn't bring a resume.
Yeah.
So anyway, they gave me an office and said, here you go. These are the 8 people you're in charge of because
and you can wear shorts.
And I could wear shorts after that.
I love that.
After that.
Okay.
But it has changed because we did wear ties frequently. But now everything's changed. I mean, if I was cold calling 10 years ago, I would have had a tie on. But Southern California, San Diego started it.
Yeah, they did.
I went to a conference in San Diego. We're all wearing ties, and these guys are wearing Tommy Bahamas and stuff. And I said,
I love it.
I go, what do you guys wear around the office? Because we always want to steal what other guys are doing that are doing well. We would do these office visits, like, where's your receptionist? I mean, we would just do everything. We would swipe and adapt.
I love it.
And we're walking around with ties on, and they're wearing Tommy Bahamas. We're like,
Hurley and everything.
Yeah, it's like, what are you guys doing? I go, do you ever wear a tie? And they go,
what's that?
They go, no, it's San Diego. I go, well, I knew they didn't do it in Hawaii, but I didn't know they didn't do it in San Diego.
Love it.
So from that day forward, we loosened the collars a little bit.
And you got to wear shorts.
And not very often, I got ugly knees.
Oh, well, I've worn shorts all my life.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy that wears shorts.
Okay. I got a couple buddies like you.
I
always wonder what's wrong with you. Don't you know it's cold outside?
No, I don't even think of that. I'm kind of insulated, or I've got Teflon legs, I guess, right? So, I figured it out in the beginning. I had the JOB. I used to carry a gun, all this stuff, worked as a bodyguard and did some special things for Los Angeles Times. And, you had the JOB. I was just over broke, had a mortgage, had somebody, a partner, won't get into that, had a couple of kids, and that was life. That's how they constructed life. You're supposed to get married, get a house, have kids, and work until you die.
Well, I told you what I did yesterday. So my daughter was in this film festival thing. In
LA.
Yeah,
I can't wait to meet her.
So
16-year-old prodigy, I hear.
So I didn't have to ask for the time off to go be with my kid. And something really special. It was Monday night. Well, we left here at 2 so we could get to downtown LA. She goes on her own with the group.
Yep.
We're in the Biltmore on this film festival's dime. So this is fun.
You're hanging out.
And then all day Tuesday, we're doing this award thing with red carpet and the whole 9 yards.
How cool is that?
And I didn't have to ask for time off.
That's a beautiful thing about entrepreneurship.
Totally.
Once I figured out in my brain, you see, and then this little house that I have, I built on an office, it's 20 by 20, and I created my future there. I got creative and made little things, and, other people didn't really care about them. They didn't say, that shit'll never work. Right. Yeah. They're seeing the
You'll never get that drone off the ground.
Well, they're seeing the fruits now because, I like to exploit that to them. I just, the old saying is, I told you so. Right. But like everything else, you just drift away, and that's how it works. Right. So I took the job just over broke, and at the same time, I became an entrepreneur. So the scales of justice, if you will, weighed out the job and the entrepreneur. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't too easy to be an entrepreneur, because now you're on your own. So you got to be creative. You got to do these things, and you got to find yourself. You got to find, what am I really good at, instead of working for this guy that says, push this red button every time somebody comes by. And I was sick and tired of pushing that red button. I wanted to push a different color, So I jumped out of that.
In a different order.
Right? In a different order. And I got out of that. And I was making pretty good money back then. I think it was $800 a week. And back then, in the early 90s, it wasn't too bad. So I did my thing. I bought the cars, the colleges, and funded everything else. And then at that same moment when this stuff is going on, the entrepreneur bug bit me right in the butt, and I quit everything. Cold turkey. The police department stuff anymore? Nah, I'm good. Let those guys do it. The LA Times, LA Times kind of laid everybody off. So it was kind of okay, you're going to go anyways. But it was the perfect scenario for me. It was a perfect vehicle to get me to think outside the box. And then after all that, who knew? I would go from gun to sun and get into the solar business. And then that led to the roofing business. That led to everything else that's out there. And I became a B general contractor. And, jobs come in. Sometimes they don't. But when they do, they can be cool and they can be pretty promising, right? And then you take that same scenario and it just multiplies. These little other things that you do in life, they just stack onto that. So this is not going on right now, but this is it. You have you have a circle. That's you, right? And when you cut it up, like in a pie, there's 8 pieces. We all know the story. The first slice of that pie is you. Nobody can replace that piece of pie, because if they do, the rest of the pie is gone, as we know. That's called death, right? Okay, so that's the end game. But then there's this other pie that's right next to it. That's your friends, family, associates, bullshit, and everything else you got to do. You got to sleep, eat, whatever. So I took those other 6 pieces and I created myself all over again, and 6 other pieces. They weren't always the same piece, But you know what? I'm so happy along the way that I suffered. I got in trouble. I got, disciplined. I got rewarded. All the above is what brought me here today and hanging out with you.
So do you think you're a typical or atypical risk personality? Because that sounds from somebody who's just listening to this right now. I cold turkeyed and I'm trying to figure out this pie.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your risk personality scale?
You know what? There is
just out of curiosity.
Well, first thing you got to get rid of, so there is no risk at all. The very first thing you got to get rid of, and the other thing you have to get rid of this thing called fear. Fear is your friend. Fear is going to remind you that A, you're an idiot, or B, it's okay because you're as an empath, right? I'm going to develop myself and I'm going to give and I'm going to get.
And run faster. Because
and
if
I'm
the
going to
bear's
jump.
chasing you,
oh
you better
my
run
goodness.
faster.
In the corporate world, in the real world where, Jack in the Box or working for the LA Times or slinging a gun, doing whatever you want to do, right? You can be lackadaisical. I took the word lackadaisical, threw it out, and I took this word fear and I used the fear to develop who I was, and which gave me confidence, and it gave me the ability to do things in front of people. It gave me the ability to think. I'm a thinker. I can sit there as an empath and I like to give, but now I'm learning how to reciprocate. So I give and I get.
That's good.
Right?
That's
so
good.
you gotta get rid of the fear. Yeah, and just remember this: regardless of what you're doing, it was meant to be. You just haven't seen the path yet, and we're not going to see that path. You just need to take it with a grain of salt and jump. You just got to jump the hell in there. And I'm talking about, listen, I know all about AI now. Gosh, I drive a Tesla. It's fully automated. I push a thing where I want to go, and I just watch this steering wheel turn right, left, slow down, speed up, turn the signal on when it notices there's nobody next to me to get off a freeway. That's called total trust. I put my life in this car's hands, right?
I'm not ready for that yet.
You got to do it, man. It completes the cherry.
I love driving, man.
Yeah, I do too. But, I'm kind of sitting back there and, they say that some people sleep when they're driving their Tesla. I haven't done that yet, but I don't think I ever will. But my seat's warm and we get in this car, all of us, and we go somewhere and they all look at me like I'm crazy. They go, "Are you really going to do that?" Yeah, watch. It's cool. But anyways, you just got to get rid of the fear. You get to confidence that you really, really need. And then I've been a creative on the internet since it started. I learned about computers, IT. I'm on Microsoft MCSE. I'm a Cisco analyst, guy that can look at routers, switches, and hubs. Who does that? Well, it's a person that wants to learn and study. And so I've always been a creative. And then I took website design when it really didn't come out, and I made my first website. Well, since then, everything that I've touched turns to gold. I've got the Midas touch now.
Here, let me shake hands with you.
Yeah. Let's do that, right? Here we go. And then all of a sudden, you start learning other things of finance. We have to have financing in the construction business. You got to finance a project or something like that. Or you got to find financing for somebody that needs something done. And I believe that this is another arm to the construction business, knowing that you're in the reverse mortgage business.
Well, when people have a 2.75 or a 3% first mortgage and they have plenty of equity in their house.
Yeah, for sure.
That was the goal, right?
Yeah.
Pay it down, watch the equity grow because the market's going to do what it does on its own. It doesn't matter what you do to your loan.
No, it doesn't.
The market's going to do its own thing.
Yep.
It's been a good thing for good many years.
Yeah.
And one of the good things of the formula was that you could get a refi from 5.5 down to 3. So everybody did it.
Yeah.
If you missed the boat.
I didn't do it though.
Oh, Yeah, I'm
still at 6.45.
Oh, dude, I didn't know you then.
Yeah.
So
okay.
At any rate, you fix that and you get a solid, phenomenal rate.
Yep.
We won't get too into the economics, but now you want to take advantage of all that equity you built in your house and you want to really cherry it out. Whether it's add on, do the solar panels so you can get your Tesla charger in the front of your garage and not have to go wait in line with everybody else. All the things that you worked for are now going to cost you 7.5% to get that cash.
Yep.
And you got to throw away that 3% rate you have. You do the reverse mortgage, it will eliminate the mortgage that you have if you want to go that route. Eliminate the mortgage that you have, turn your payments to zero, get you the money that you need for all the improvements that you want or whatever you want. This is different than taking care of grandma's house.
Yes.
This is you in your 60s, early 70s. Life is still happening. Technology is
going through the roof,
now.
Right?
So do the reverse mortgage, build the ADU, fix the house, put the Tesla charger in. None of that with no monthly payments. You don't have to answer the loan until you want to.
Yeah.
You can pay it off whenever you want.
Sure.
Or when you're frankly dead or gone.
Yeah.
When you're not in the house anymore.
You know, you mentioned something earlier and I thought it was genius and we don't really think about it. All these tangible things that we have in life and especially a house. You know, just like the story of the lady in Temple City, right? Mm-hmm. She was comfortable. She was in her house. The reality is she couldn't take it with her. Mm-mm. We can't take any of these things with us. These podcast mics, I can't take them with me. I love them.
They are cool, though.
You know? So, I mean, it works out to be pretty spectacular for the individual living at a home. They can get a little cash. Their worries of paying the mortgage are gone. And or let's just say they've always wanted to go to the country of Europe. They can put a little cash in their bank. They can have that once in a lifetime experience, come back and say, wow, I did it. I finally freaking did it.
There's an equity line feature in a reverse mortgage.
Get out of here. Really?
Say you're eligible for $200,000.
Okay.
And you only need 50 to fix your house.
Yeah.
The extra 150 is in an equity line feature that grows at 0.5% more than what your reverse mortgage.
Stop it.
So let's do
basic math.
Let's do math in the sandbox.
Okay.
$200,000.
Yeah.
You only use 50.
Yeah.
50 is your loan.
Yep.
Now you got 150 that's growing at 0.5% more than the 50.
Yeah.
The 50 will never catch up to the 150.
Exactly, because it's more money.
And you can tap that for whatever reason anytime you want. So right now, I have clients that are fairly well off, coming from financial planners.
Sure.
I don't need a loan. I don't need any money. I don't need any of this. And the financial planner says, yeah, but you do want a new car. And I'd prefer that you didn't slap a $600 a month payment into your budget. And I would prefer you didn't yank 50 out of the portfolio.
And to pay taxes on it amongst all, right?
Reverse mortgage proceeds are tax-free because they're proceeds from a loan.
I love it.
So take the 50, buy the car. You and I know cars a little bit. If you go to the dealer and the guy's always yanking your chain, but if you say, I got a check right here. This is what I'm going to pay for the car. That negotiation will take about 10 minutes, not 6 hours.
Yeah, right?
So, right? So
that's makes sense.
That's the use.
And there's no interest.
Well,
and no payments.
There is interest.
Okay.
But you don't pay it till the end of the road.
Till the end of the road, yeah.
So you got this 150 that's growing. Mm-hmm. Mom and dad are great. 15 years from now, mom starts declining.
Yeah.
Mom needs in-home care. Mom's got dementia.
Which is expensive. But now these reverse mortgage proceeds in the equity line have grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. Yeah.
Now you can start tapping that if you need it. Here's another scenario. Say mom and dad are fine. They don't need any money. Everything's great. But at their age, the life insurance is expired.
Yeah, it's over.
They're not going to redo it. They can't.
They can't.
The kids are in their 50s and 60s. What do they need life? They don't want mom's life insurance.
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, mom starts declining.
Yeah.
Dad is fine. He's taking care of mom in the house. Dad suddenly goes. There's no life insurance. There's no money.
And she's declining.
She's declining. And there's $300,000 that's built up in the equity line. So maybe mom can't stay in the house.
Yeah.
But you know real estate. How good of a deal are you going to get selling your property if you're under duress?
Right. It's going to be tough.
So if the kids say, we got to sell the house so we can move mom, just give us some money so we can get out of here. And everybody's stressed. Dad just passed away. What are we doing? Well, if they had the reverse mortgage in place, you've got a year minimum of breathing room before the lender's going to ask you to pay that loan. Take care of mom. Shop the community you want her to move to. Deal with all the goods in the house, all the physical things, whatever health. You got to find the right community for mom that has memory care. Right. Those aren't cheap. No. You want to sell a house and get maximum bucks because you got to pay for mom. So all these things, I don't sell insurance. It's not an insurance product, but let your mind go to how you can use this to protect your family if that scenario comes to play, which is real. It happens all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it can be a daily experience, and you know what? You don't know when it's going to come.
And this is somebody who originally didn't want to do it because they don't need any money.
Right.
I said,
exactly.
I know you don't need any money today.
Yeah.
But how much more are you going to have if you set this plan up? There's just
so you're talking about that equity line can be tapped, right?
Yeah, whenever you want.
So let's just say I pulled the 200 out or the 150 out.
Yeah.
Couldn't I put that in some high yield CD?
You can do whatever you want with it.
It's your money.
It's your money.
You can even make more money with that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it because it's not tax free, the CD.
After that, it's not tax free.
So the reverse mortgage is the key. It's the key to total success.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
without any any red tape.
You can pay a reverse mortgage off or make payments to it whenever you want. So if you're doing a high level reverse mortgage plan and you've got assets that are getting taxed in another part of your portfolio,
yep.
A smart financial planner and CPA can start making payments on the interest of the reverse mortgage and get the tax deduction because you're paying mortgage interest.
Right.
That money goes into the equity line.
Get out of here at a 0.5% more.
Yes.
So the buildup factor is huge.
Yes.
Wow.
That's tax free because if you take it out, it's loan proceeds.
You're putting it into a financial vehicle.
That's very, very powerful.
Very, very powerful.
Once you understand how it works.
Oh my God.
When we first started talking, I said, look, I spend my days educating people that this is not I'm in business for over 20 years.
Sure.
If I did this and every grandmother got their house foreclosed on, how would I still be in business?
No, of course.
I do not do these to have people lose their homes.
Listen, you're what they call the lifeline. You're the lifeline of people over 60 years old.
I'm part of the plan.
You're part of the plan.
I'm as I do some loans where there are some deep financial stresses.
You bring relief.
I bring relief. I also deal with people that don't need money now, but they think about the future. And once I educate them on how powerful this is, the light bulb goes off.
I should be flickering like a strobe light.
Well, you know what?
Point.
I don't know what happened, but it happened with you because
my goodness, you kidding me?
All we did was talk for 10 minutes. And
Hello?
You said, wow, I never heard these ideas before.
Hello? I mean, think about it. Again, life is life. we know that the heart will probably beat 8 billion times. Those are facts. They have statistics on that stuff. That's kind of crazy.
That's a good one. I don't know that one, but
that's crazy. I study this kind of stuff, right? We know that the average life of a man can be 73 to 78. Women will live to be 108, depending on what's going on. Knock on wood. I don't have diabetes. I don't have this. I had a bottle rocket hit my left eyeball, but I survived that one, right? I slid into third base, broke my ankle, snap, crackle, pop. I'm still walking. And yeah, I think I hit my brother and he blocked it and he broke my radius. And that was when I was a kid. But, I've been in, I don't know, 3 or 4 car accidents. It probably should have just put the blanket over me.
You should have kept your hands on the wheel.
Right? Thank God it was with my Tesla.
You thought you were.
I'm talking
autonomous.
I'm talking about texting and driving. Don't do it. I literally, on my last adventure 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I was looking at a menu for Pollo Loco on my phone. And there was this truck parked on the right-hand side. Normally you get to see the red stop sign. Well, you know how tall trucks are, right? It was a blind spot. So I go barreling through this thing, doing about 50, into oncoming traffic that was, I forgot what it was. It was maybe Valley Boulevard. I forgot what it was. But as I went out into traffic, all I remember seeing is this white blur. It was a Toyota. I didn't know what it was until after the fact. This thing piled into the passenger, hit my Honda Pilot in the center, knocked me for a loop. I really learned what planking was because I was like horizontal in my car. Everything stopped. I'm going really fast. I'm doing about 60. This guy just piles into me. He's like spinning off into the abyss and pieces of his cars falling around. It's like a NASCAR crash, where all the stuff goes flying
You're the guy
out.
that I tell my kids about.
Yeah, I was the guy that was texting.
Three teenage drivers. And I say, look, I don't care if the light's green. I don't care if it's a 4-way stop.
Yeah.
There's going to be some guy looking at the El Pollo Loco menu.
That was me.
That's going to do it by accident.
I regretted that day because before I knew that I had a whiplash, I had lateral whiplash, not this whiplash. It was the side one, talking about pain. For years, I had that. So I felt before I got hit with this lateral whiplash, I felt very bad what happened to the driver. And it was 100% my fault. And to this day, I kind of look down at it. I kind of do a couple things, but it only takes the bending of my neck to realize that's the reminder of you don't want to do that again, do you, dumbass?
That's what you get for playing real life chicken.
It was totally real life chicken,
Does
man.
anybody realize that?
I lost. I totally lost.
Pollo Loco's chicken.
Yeah, right. So that was an experience for me. And then you and I are talking about other things and this reverse mortgage stuff, which I'm seriously interested in because that's another avenue that we can take that I can bring to my partners in business.
You can turn the vapor into material.
Hello. And then now I have solutions to give, acquaintances and people that I may want to, do something for in the future. It can be home improvement. Who cares?
The ADU. Everybody needs one.
God.
Apparently, we all need one.
That's what California says, right?
I'm not going to argue.
Right? What are we going to have by 2050? Like, I don't know, another 9 billion people on the planet?
I don't know. It's the first time.
It's a lot.
It's the first time ever that population growth has stagnated.
Right?
I just heard that the other day on the radio.
Oh, really?
So that's
okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Good.
Save a tree, save a river.
Well, you know what it is? This global warming thing that people talk about and the, overpopulation. They see what's going on in Israel. People are committing genocide to their own people. Can you imagine over somewhere in Southern California, the military flies over and just puts this old-fashioned Ancient Orange or whatever that Hitler threw on his people or Gaddafi or, all those people did.
Well, you have a drone. Did you see the story the other day that there's a partnership between Australia and the U.S. and we both now have underwater drones?
What?
One is called the Stingray, and I think the
Get
other one's the
outta here.
Manta Ray. These are
Underwater drones.
So warfare can happen below the surface without sacrificing any humans.
I want to get one.
Hey man, Aquaman to the rescue.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just read it the other day.
You don't need planes or boats.
Everybody thought, sci-fi, you're a movie dude.
Yeah.
When you watch any movie from the past that you thought was sci-fi.
Yeah.
I'm talking into my Dick Tracy watch.
No, exactly. This is it.
We're
living it now.
And all that stuff in Terminator that you thought,
Skynet.
this is so
Skynet,
far.
right?
Yeah.
It's here. It's called the drone.
Have you seen the robots that can jump now?
They can jump, they can run, they got a 50 caliber tied to the top, and they're mowing people down.
It was all fake fantasy in Hollywood 20 years ago.
And here we are experiencing it today.
I'm Planet of the Apes fan, so maybe
me too.
Maybe I should stop while I'm ahead.
I love it, man. I love it. This is fantastic. So you have a product that I'm very interested in that I'm going to exploit, and I'm going to, kind of share the story. And this podcast goes out, it goes everywhere. And then I'm going to shoot you a link and everything else, and you can share it as well.
Great.
Right? So I don't know. You might want to start a financial channel. I don't know. Things happen for a reason, right?
I'll just, you'll
just come in and hang out with Chris, and let's do episode number 2, right?
Show me how.
This is fantastic, Brian. So,
because I was all over the board. I mean, maybe, we focus on some stuff, because it's like if you show somebody a math book or a history book, or it doesn't matter what it is, and you say, here's the whole thing. And I just read to you the chapter titles of this. There's 8 chapters in this book. Maybe next time
you told me the table of contents.
Yes, there you go.
We got to get the chapters done now.
Get a chapter done.
I think this is fantastic. You're in a great business, man. You have the tools to help anybody, which is crazy. Now, let's just say, let me use an example really quick. Earlier at the conference table, you were saying that, what is the qualifying factors for somebody? Okay, go ahead.
Age and equity.
So I can't be 50.
Got to be 55.
55.
In California.
Okay.
And you've got to have more than 50% equity in your property. The older you are, because the actuaries run the numbers, because this is a loan that's got to be paid off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if you're 55 and they run the numbers for 30 years, that's 30 years of interest. That's
true.
But the property appreciation, there's a formula.
Okay.
We don't let you over borrow because we don't want your house.
You get a fancy Excel file.
Yeah.
That says red or green.
So now if you're 80, they're going to run it till you're 100.
Oh, wow.
So that's only 20 years.
It's nothing.
So the older you are, the
better.
More money you're eligible for. And that's an actuarial formula. These guys figure it out.
And income is also Social Security.
Pretty much, because
you're getting it. It's a guarantee.
It's a guarantee. And you only have to qualify to pay for your insurance, your homeowner's insurance.
Which is cheap as hell.
If you can get it in California anymore. That's another. Right? That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. That's another chapter.
God bless Walmanisa.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. You live next to the 210 freeway. You're in a fire zone.
Fire zone.
What are you talking about? I'm in a fire zone. Well, you can see Baldy from here. Well, that doesn't mean
it's still got snow on the top.
It's still got snow. It's not catching fire,
right?
And your property taxes. And most of the time, if you've paid your house off, you've lived there for more than 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
And so your tax rate, because
is super low,
is low compared to the guy that's buying a house today,
which is quadruple
because of the price.
That's right, of the home. That's right. So I bought my house, I think 38 years ago, for $86,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth almost $600 today.
Because you had the vision to move to Fontana.
Fontucky. Actually, that came from a couple of dear friends of mine, God rest their souls. And I didn't know shit from Shinola, and here I am in Fontana at a bunch of orange fields. And then they went away and houses appeared, and I got one of them.
There's more money in houses than there is in oranges. Unfortunately, because I like oranges.
And I love orange juice, right? So, yeah, man, you have a vehicle that is spectacular for anybody 55 and older that owns a house. They just need to explore these things. And so I have this card in my hand. You're also a broker.
I am a real estate broker. I don't buy and sell houses, but
Not yet.
not yet.
Right? We're talking about that one.
I just got here. I need to see the table of contents, and then you need to read me the chapters. But knowing as much, I've got tons of buddies, whether they're real estate people or lender people, that either didn't have the time or are not good test takers, and they don't have their broker's license. And I don't. It's just one of those things.
And they're smart as hell.
Smart as hell.
But they can't pass a freaking test.
Or just never
Not
felt like
enough
it was anything to do. But
Yeah.
see, I used to be in education. And
Those are the people that have a JOB, by the way.
education is
Right?
your paper.
Yeah.
So you graduate from high school, you get a diploma. You graduate from college, you get a
Gotta get
diploma.
paper,
Then
yeah.
you get your master's degree, and then you go from
Yeah.
there, and then you got to get your license.
Which is worth nothing anymore. Right?
But they still, so accumulating certifications.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an explorer like you are,
Not yet.
but I can learn because I'm a history guy.
yeah.
So I like the data.
You like
I
the
like
data.
the facts.
Yeah.
I like the order.
Yeah.
I like to know the statistics that if somebody asks me a question, I can say, did you know
Yeah.
that 11,000 people a day turn 65?
11,000?
A day.
Get out of here.
A
Wow.
day. That's why I like my product.
Oh my God. Customers.
Built in.
And it's a great industry to be in, because unlike any other loan, I would say, that has, things they got to do, your loan specifically caters to the senior citizen.
To my buddies, I'm 65.
And you're in the same group.
These are all my guys.
Hey, and I'm in that group.
Oh yeah, you're 62.
So check this out. You have a vehicle that is worth driving because nobody gets hurt,
Not in my opinion.
right? I mean, oh my God. Brian, you are what they call a savior to, baby boomers.
And I'm one of them.
You're in the same group.
My
and you're a
teenage
baby
daughter
boomer.
calls me Big Bad Boomer Man.
I
And
love
I
it.
go, really? Really?
Is that the 16-year-old?
Yeah.
The movie buff?
Yeah. She goes, what era are you in today, Dad?
Gen Z talking that way to
I
dad,
go,
right?
hey, keep it up and you can give me the car keys.
Yeah. You know the rent of an apartment is these days? But more than my mortgage,
Yeah.
right?
Their auto insurance is
Right?
more than-
Exactly. And those are other things that we can talk about in the future that need to be changed. But man, oh man, when the universe grabs a person and he walks them up to a building and the synergy is there and the collaboration, and you and me basically are in the same business in many ways.
And
And they all fit,
I'm not
which
kidding
is
you.
beautiful.
When I spun around in your little, what do you call it? Vestibule there.
Yeah.
entryway,
My foyer.
Yeah, I was like, who is this guy?
What does he do?
He's got a window and he's got just junk that I can't even get to the window to like knock and see if there's a
There's a
receptionist back
door.
here.
There's a doorbell. Did you see that? It says ring the bell.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, I got to show it to you on the way out.
yeah, that would be helpful.
I put that there purposely because everybody would just spin, and I thought I got rid of the 180 degree. How about knock? I don't know. It was good though. It says ring the bell, bing ding.
Well, that's,
But hey,
I
you
didn't
were
say
so
I
fascinated.
didn't say I was smart in every aspect.
You were fascinated by all my things on the wall, But anyways, I love this when reality is meant to be. Doesn't it refreshing?
Well, I told you I went up the street.
Yeah.
And because today was just one of those days where I say, you know what? Because I took a day and a half off.
Oh, that's right.
A little bit of catch up.
You-
Just do something a little different today.
Okay.
I'm just going to get out, walk around. I go get my espresso, and then I'm just going to
Yeah.
check on some stuff. And there's a little complex up the street that has
Uh-huh.
a handful of attorneys,
Oh, yeah.
lenders,
Yep.
my pub.
Yep. I love it.
Can I shout out to the Black Watch Pub? And some, did I say there's real estate lenders and some attorneys there?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I hate cold calls.
Yeah. Nobody likes them.
And I'm going to walk around to these. So I wrote everybody's, I told you I like to research.
Yep.
So I wrote everybody's company name, address, because there are a whole bunch of them, Suite A, Suite C. And I was going to go home, look them up, see who might just be a decent guy.
The who, what, when, and why, and how.
You know, who are these guys? Before I annoy them.
Yeah.
Or waste my time.
No, you want to do some background. That's cool. It's smart.
I told you I'd driven by your office because I live in this neighborhood.
But you see the sign in the windows.
Yeah, for years and years and years.
Do you know it turns on at night? It glows on Mountain Avenue.
No.
It's like...
Probably just on autopilot then. I don't know.
Yeah. And I got a kiosk out front.
I saw the kiosk.
And then I have another one on the other side. So I'm trying to...
You just don't have a receptionist at the glass.
No, I got a bell. I got the doorbell. Come on.
So I went to the real estate office next door.
Yeah.
And it's locked.
Yeah.
And then I said, construction guy. He could use a reverse mortgage
exactly.
second. If he has a client that says, I need 70 grand or 175 for an ADU. So my question was, do you do ADUs? I go, I do everything. I said, well.
Yep.
And
we all know people who know people.
And
right. And that's the spectacular thing about our businesses. And they fit hand in hand. One of the questions I'm going to be uttering, and your ears are probably going to ring every time.
Okay.
First thing I'm going to say is, hey, have you ever thought about a reverse mortgage?
And
do you want to get this without all the stress?
Oh, I don't want you to get my house foreclosed on.
Yeah, I got somebody that can answer those questions.
That's not going to happen.
In fact, all you have to do is listen to episode 70, which you're on. You're the proud number 70 now.
All right, I can remember that.
You can do it. Well, you're not 70 yet, so you can remember that. And then you have this product, man, that I'm just blown away about. I didn't know the intricacies of what a true reverse mortgage can do. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, you are a specialist because you educated me, being the teacher that you are. You gave me the sandbox approach, and you just gave me some basic math and told me some simple things. Man, I can't wait to tell everybody.
And most of my friends, I tell them not to play in the sandbox because the cats will just try to cover you up.
You don't do telepathy, do you? I mean, right? Mind over matter, right? Like cards floating right now.
And one of my analogies, when you're teaching, I used to, you talk to the room and you could always see the one or two guys that are just like,
head back.
I don't know what you're talking
they're
about.
Oblivious, right?
The message can't change, but the delivery vehicle you can change to maybe get them to understand it. Whether it's visual, auditory, all the teaching tricks, right? So I talk in analogies sometimes in metaphors. So doing a reverse mortgage isn't rocket science.
No, it's simple.
But it is riding a bike. Everybody can ride a bike.
Everybody can ride a bike.
Everybody can do a first-time home buyer program or a 20% down refi. I mean, it's easy.
FHA's there.
Yeah, you can just do it.
This is easier.
But if you only know how to ride a beach cruiser at Huntington Beach where it's level, you could be awesome. You can ride no-handed, pull your surfboard.
For hours.
But then I bring you over here to where we live and I throw you on my 20-speed mountain bike and I say, go hit that hill.
You're done.
It's only riding a bike.
Yeah, it's only riding a bike, right.
But you don't know how to do the gears. You don't know how to do the brakes.
Yep.
You're afraid if we go too fast downhill, somebody's going to foreclose on my mom's house.
Right.
That's fear because you don't know how to ride the bike.
That's right. So you give bike lessons.
I give bike lessons.
And it's 20 speeds.
Yeah.
Damn. All I can say is this, is you are with Watermark Capital. It's Brian Wiesner. And your email is so simple too. B. Wiesner, W-E-I-S.
It's I-E, dude.
Oh man, I'm dyslexic right now. Holy, so it's B-W-I-E-S-N-E-R at Watermark, just like it sounds.
Yep.
-capital.com.
Yep. And if that is...
How do they get a hold of you if they need to call you on your cell? Is that okay to call on your cell?
Absolutely.
What do they do to get a hold of you?
You touch 909.
Okay.
227-1477. And if you can't remember any of that stuff, I'm Brian at Coach Brian Mortgage.
Get out of here. Brian at CoachBrianMortgage.com. What? Wow, you got all this figured out, man.
That's the teaching part.
Yeah.
I'll coach you through the mortgage.
Hey, man, I can't thank you enough for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you a lot more.
Pleasure's all mine.
Let's collaborate a little bit. I'm going to throw you out there. I'm going to put you on the friends and family page of QHI. That's Quality Home Improvement. And we're going to say a little bit more about you because your phone is about to ring. And I'm going to send people your ways. And I know in the future, what we've already talked about at the conference table, that we're going to collaborate a little bit deeper into that. And then helping you is going to help me so I can help you to help me. Does that make sense?
There's a million things I know I can help your clients with. Everybody that you're pounding nails for and doing plans for, there's going to be people I can help.
Well, you also come across clients that may want to sell a property.
Absolutely.
For shits and giggles. Who knows, right?
Who knows?
Hey, you know
why? Because you can buy a house with a reverse mortgage. So sell the house you're at and you want to move to Arizona where lots of things are different.
Yeah.
Buy the house with a reverse mortgage. No monthly payment. I'm licensed in California, Arizona, and Texas. So if you're moving out of California
And Texas.
Nice. For a million different reasons, I can do your loans in those.
Well, I don't like Houston because of those storms in the Gulf of Mexico.
But Austin's a pretty nice town, and outside of Dallas to the north, there's some good pig hunting up there.
You can have Texas. I'm good.
Well, I'm not moving to Texas.
I drove through there in a motorhome, and it was not Waco, but I forgot what it was, and the wind was sideways, man. It was just.
I've got one of my best friends on the planet that lives outside of Dallas, and he's always telling me, I got you,
El
man.
Paso. That's what I was going to say.
He's in Plano, and he's always look at this. He's got a house on a lake that's up north and all that, but still the bugs are like the old Woody Allen, as big as Buicks.
Cicadas, right?
Yeah, they're as big as Buicks.
Yeah,
and you and I look outside and we see mountains.
Yeah, that's it.
Texas, the only thing you see is the water tank
or an oil field.
Yeah, I can't handle it.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
I can't handle it.
Texas.
But I'll do business there if you want to move there.
Yeah, right? I love it, man. It's great. Hey, Brian, thanks for hanging out with me, man. Watermark Capital, Brian Wiesner. Give him a jingle, 909-227-1477. And your website again is?
Brian at Coach Brian Mortgage.
Can't ask for anything better than that, man. Happy Wednesday to you.
Likewise.
Here we go. I know you're going to be good. Thanks again, Brian. I'll talk to you soon.
You bet.
And wait for the link. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Energy Hour podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to qhiinc.com/TEO. That's qhiinc.com/TEO. Capture the joyful magic of the holiday season with Virtual Santa. Virtual Santa is a high-definition projection effect that walks, waves, laughs, eats cookies, and puts presents under the tree. From outside, it's so real, you swear Santa's in your house. Virtual Santa, originally seen on ABC's The Great Christmas Light Fight. You can choose from traditional Virtual Santa or new African American Santa. Holiday effects include Virtual Santa, Mrs. Claus, Santa's Workshop with Christmas elves, and so much more. Buy one effect or a bundle. Available in HD DVD, digital download, or USB flash drive. Also available in LED projection bundles. For a winning Christmas display that will delight your neighbors young and old, visit us at virtualsanta.com and become known as the house where Santa lives. Virtual Santa, where holiday spirit begins.
This podcast is brought to you by Aliva Digital Marketing, lead generation and SEO for local businesses. Increase your web presence with their results in advanced strategy, including a video website audit and analysis for free. Listeners of this podcast can get 75% off Aliva's fees. But hurry, only the first 5 businesses that inquire can get this deal. Aliva Digital Marketing, a proud sponsor of this podcast. Online at alivadigital.com.
Solaria. Beauty, efficiency, and power. For nearly 20 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design. Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today. Redefining home solar. Solaria's high-output solar panels deliver maximum energy production in a streamlined, all-black design that complements your home's architectural style with more than 20% more energy per square meter than traditional solar panels. Solaria's advanced Power XT panels pack maximum power into minimum space for industrial leading efficiency. Enjoy clean, reliable power day in and day out, backed by our 25-year warranty. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Quality you can trust for your home and business. For more information, go to qhinc.com/Solaria.